Good evening, folks, and thank you for tuning in to Gas and Well Watch It Up. It is the evening of Saturday, the 18th of May, and today we're going to be having a little lead-up forecast towards June. See how things are shaping up from the models. A bit of a model analysis video, if you like, towards the end of May and into the start of June as well, and also the month of June. The final June forecast will be issued on the start of June, so between the 1st and the 10th of June. Do stay tuned for that forecast that will be issued then. A very interesting month coming up in June. This is more of a model analysis thoughts video rather than the official June forecast, which will be issued on the 6th or the 7th, 8th, 9th of June, so do stay tuned for that one. This is a Central England temperature series for the year of 2013. January below average, February below average, March followed in the same way, and also April was below average month. May is below average, but it's starting to pick up now as you see some better weather moving in. But it has been a cool month in general so far, and I won't be surprised that we continue with this cool theme, or perhaps just try and tuck it up towards the average theme as we go through towards the very end of May, which I'll give you a reason for in just a second. These are the 8 to 10 day means running through towards the very end of June into the very start of very end of May, running through to the very start of June. The ECMWF is on the left and the GFS is on the right. Now on the ECMWF we've got a cut-off low feature formed across many parts of Europe and the north and west of the UK, many parts of Europe and many parts of the country indeed seeing a better 8 to 10 day period across many parts of the country. Here we've got high pressure dominating the jet stream running through to the north of the country. On the GFS, by comparison, we've got a westerly flow coming into many parts of the country. It's not running to the north of the country, it's running over Scotland, over the British Isles, with high pressure starting to head up across the southwest of the country, indicating perhaps better conditions in the south, always keeping in the jet stream across northern parts of the country. Now it's very uncertain as we go through towards 8 to 10 day period. It could be that we start to build high pressure in from the west, but always a chance of seeing unsettled conditions, especially across the far north of the country and also the far south. But I was thinking as we go through towards the very end, so towards the 8 to 9 day, 10 day period, so towards the very end of May, it will be that we see more of a jet stream movements coming to the north of the country. Very interesting focus with that, with high pressure starting to sink south across the country. This is the focus from the CFS. You can see that we are currently in around average period. Temperatures do start to lift as we go through the next few days, but then they start to dip, then they plateau as we go through towards the very end of May, and then through towards the start of June they do rise up towards the average category in Manchester from the CFS version 2. So they do start to rise through towards the end of June, but then start to dive off again through towards the very early part of June, with temperatures then staying just below the seasonal norm for Manchester. And this is the GFS forecast for the next few days. It is again picking up on the trend in temperature towards the very end of May, towards the very start of June. This type of trend in temperature. Looking at the North Atlantic Oscillation forecast, this is the forecast, or this is observed and also forecast. The observed is the black line, and the forecast is indeed the red line. Now the North Atlantic Oscillation is oscillation from the northern hemisphere. If you get a positive NAO, it means that we see milder conditions across the country, more westerly flow. If you get a negative NAO, it means that the cool conditions can start to drain off from the pole, and we do see high pressure developing across many parts of Northern Atlantic. Blocking is likely, and as we go through towards the next few days, we will start to dip that negative North Atlantic Oscillation off, meaning that we will start to see a building pressure from the north, which is bringing in those better conditions through towards the very end of May. But I think if we do get those conditions, it could be the south and east of the country. It's always fair to at the risk of seeing dull, dampish sorts of weather, and also the far north of the country as high pressure starts to sink south towards the very end of the month into the start of June, which will push the better conditions through the country and gradually working them off in towards the very end of May, and towards the start of June we then start to develop a jet stream across many parts of the country, as we just saw on the 10 day means from the GFS. If we just go back to that one for you, there's that forecast there. The jet stream starts to come through the country. Notice that high pressure is started to sink south on the ECMWF. It's going for slightly earlier phase here compared to the other chart. The Beijing Climate Centre for the same forecast period for this through towards 26th of May through towards the very early stages of June is going for cooler conditions across the south of the country, with warmer conditions to the very north of the country, indicating that far north of Scotland, far north of Northern Ireland will see the better conditions. Always the mainland that see the cooler conditions from the Beijing Climate Centre. Just hitting this chart at the uncertainty in the forecast is very uncertain, so do keep yourself up to date with the forecast, and thank you for doing that. Looking slightly further afield towards the June period, this is the forecast from the CFS version 2, and this is going out for the June period. The blues and the greens indicate above average precipitation, so wetter conditions are indicated by the greens and indeed the blues, and the reds and the oranges indicate drier than normal conditions. Now the interesting thing with this is it's the north and west of the country that see the driest conditions stretching through towards Scandinavia, through towards northwest Russia, whilst it's the Mediterranean stretching up from Turkey through into the Adriatic, the Mediterranean, many parts of Switzerland, through France, into Spain, Spain as well, seeing those wetter conditions are indicating low pressure around this area of the globe, and the better conditions around this area of the globe through towards the northwestern parts of the UK through the June period. Looking through to the temperature anomalies from the CFS version 2, well, there's not much we can take from this forecast chart really. There's not much going on here, but there is a slight indication for cooler conditions indicated by the blues here across the southwest of Europe into the far northwest of Africa, and indeed the milder conditions indicating here through all the way from Greenland through into Iceland and through into the Scandinavian area, indicating a blocking dominant. And it's very interesting, this forecast we could see blocking again setting itself up through the June period, indicating that north of the country is the best of the weather, always the south and east of the country seeing the worst of the weather, perhaps the warmest weather across parts of northern and southern parts of Scotland. The final chart we'll be looking at today is the CFS version 2 forecast for 700 millibar area of the atmosphere. This is between the surface and the jet stream, and this is from the CFS version 2 again. Similar principle with this is going for blocking across many parts of northern Europe into towards northern parts of the UK, indicating a trough feature over over Western Europe. It could be that we start to see more of these trough features across southern parts of Europe, indicating that the north of the country sees the best of conditions. So thank you very much for tuning into the model analysis for May and into June. It's been a very interesting time doing this forecast. Very interesting models here. Most of models are going for blocking to the north of the country. It's how that blocking does set up, which will indicate what direction the winds come from. But generally looks like easterly winds because many parts of the country will be in high frequency through the month of June, with the far north country in the best of conditions, always the worst, the coolest, and the dampest of conditions outside the south. If the models are correct at the current time, I will keep giving you updates to go through the next few days on how the models are shaping up for June, and I'll issue the final official June forecast at the very start of June, so do stay tuned for that one, either by going through to my Twitter account. You can get all the updates there, and you can also go through to the website. You can go through to all the pages there and get everything you want to from there. So thanks very much for watching, and see you later.